Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. We're jumping on spaces. We do spaces here on Twitter and on YouTube at the same time. Alien tech, guys. That's how we do it around here. Good evening.
What's up, Banana? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. We're going to a different level. We're going to a different level with this marketing campaign that Richard Hart has generously set in place for us. I'm excited, man. Literally, listen, man. I think this marketing campaign is at least $5 million. A $5 million marketing campaign for PulseChain that the Grays can leverage, that we can leverage for our chain and for our ecosystem. Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal too. Like, I don't know how many units are planned over a long period of time. Is this only a 6 month? Does it equal 1 million units? Does it equal 5 million units? Does it equal 500,000 units? That's still what I don't know for sure. I've heard numbers, right? And who knows what's true and what's not. I don't really know. But either way, what I'm excited about is these are new users. I think it's quite obvious that a lot of our users here on chain are a little tapped out as far as value goes. I think maybe they've DCA'd maybe too many times or whatever it is, right? To where we do need an inflow of new users. And I don't think a lot of people in PulseChain are actually onboarding currently from other blockchains and or IRL. Like, obviously you can see that in the chain. There's less value on the chain today than there was when PulseChain even launched. So I think this is a great effort as far as Richard to get a whole new group of people, if that's 2x, 5x, 10x the amount of users than we had, than we have right now. And what that equals for pTGC is possibly 10x the amount of users who might see value in holding pTGC and UFO.
Yeah.
To where if it was just capital injection, like let's say, I hope it's both, right? I hope it's both. Because I do think how he will get the maximum amount of adoption from his postcards is I do believe that his charts need to be looking a little better. Because the first thing when someone gets the postcard, what they're going to type in is pulsechain.com. Right on the front of the website, it shows charts, right? And I forget what the chart that auto-populates is, if it's like the 30-day or whatever. But if the chart is really far down and to the right, most people are not going to hop on that, right? Most people want to buy things where they see it going up and they see a thriving community, not a fighting/tanking ecosystem. So I personally believe that the chart needs to start moving up. If that's from our own capital coming in from the community, if that's from Richard giving a little bit of help, maybe it's the marketing starting this help, whatever it is. But some green will definitely help the marketing, in my opinion. But what that equals is price appreciation, obviously the pTGC, just because we're bonded with all this, but it equals a whole new group of people that I believe are going to see value in pTGC and UFO as far as the product goes. Built-in APY just for holding, hyper-deflationary tokenomics. By holding one, you hold all. It's an index of the top tokens on the chain, or most of the top tokens on the chain. So it's kind of the easy button for PulseChain. On top of that, you have constant LP being added. You have hyper-deflation. A lot of the features, thriving community, a lot of the features that people are looking for or don't even know they're looking for as far as the product goes.
Yep. Yeah. I've been thinking about that thing too. Green candles would be great for when people come. But honestly, I think some people like myself, if I were on another chain, and obviously I'm a crypto person, and I got a postcard for this, I'd be like, yeah, I'd speculate on it. So I think there is a cross section of people that would speculate on this chain, and that could perhaps cause some green candles for the next wave of mailers that hits. And it could be like a snowball effect. But honestly, I do.
Let me ask you, Banana, if you got a mailer for some random blockchain right now, and you looked at the chart and it was down and to the right, you would go and speculate on that? Honestly.
If I did the research, yeah, I think I would.
Would you do the research though? Like, would you spend a lot of time looking at that? Because I feel like there's a very small window for people's research, right? It's going to be like a quick Google search, a quick PulseChain.com. What is this? A lot of the information that pops up right off the bat is currently not that awesome. I don't know if you've ever done it. What I'm getting at is I personally believe for max impact of these, we need green candles. We need better morale as far as the PulseChain community, which comes from green candles, and and some good positive outbound messaging from media sources, etc. I think that stuff is really, really needed. I know what you're saying, but I think that's because you believe in PulseChain so much, so you're thinking about
could be
as far as PulseChain goes. But if you got a mailer or some form of marketing piece in the mail for blockchain, you have to remember you are very passionate about blockchain. Most people are not, so it would spike your interest a little bit more than others. So, like, just a normal person, if they got something in the mail and they looked at it and it was a chart down, low volume, I don't think they're speculating on it. Honestly, I think we need some green candles, some volume, some community morale. You go on YouTube, there's tons of videos of people talking positively, which this stuff can come with just like 2 or 3 X's, right? 2 to 3 X's, right. And we're closing in on all-time highs. Morale would be shifting rapidly. Like, all of that can come with a very little amount of value coming in. But I do think that we got to get that momentum going.
As part of my research, it could take a few weeks, researching the chain. And in that time, it starts turning green. I'm also giving Richard Hart space to do whatever he wants to do. He doesn't need to inject capital, at this point. If it's his plan to just let the postcards do the work, I'm giving him space to do that. And, whatever. He's going to do what he wants to do. I'm just grateful that the postcards are hitting the mail. I think they're already being opened up, like by the recipients. I saw one on Twitter. I don't know if it was true or not. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I'm thankful for it too, right? Anything can help at this point. I was more just saying that, like, I think impact wise, if you're going to put a lot of money and a lot of effort and a lot of people's effort into this marketing campaign, I do believe it makes sense to try to get the maximum amount of impact out of it. And I think the price going up is a huge catalyst to making this marketing strategy work. It's kind of like if I was a car salesman, right? Let's say I sold cars, and I was talking to Banana, and I was like, hey, we have this really good car on the lot. It looks super good. It's real awesome. And then you're like, okay, I'm hearing you out. I'm going to look this up real quick. You go on Google and you just see tons of bad reviews. You most likely are not going to buy that car. But if you go on Google real quick and see all these awesome reviews of people loving the car, you might buy the car.
Sure, but if I'm in the car industry, like we're in the crypto industry, and we know where we're at in the cycle, that sweetens it up a little bit, because this is a first cycle layer 1, and some people might know that.
Yeah.
But either way, it's a good deal. It's a good deal for PulseChain. It's a good deal for the Grays, and I think we just need to get behind Richard Hart 1,000%. And help him, help him make this.
I 100% agree. I think this marketing campaign is so awesome for pTGC and UFO, because this doesn't just mean, hey, value from Richard is coming over. This means possibly value from Richard and other values coming over, but also millions of new eyeballs. And what we've seen in the past with PulseChain, because we've had 2 years of like a test drive, right? Hey, when people are on PulseChain, do they want to expose themselves to pTGC and UFO?
Yes.
Is this a product that they want? And what I've gotten, what I've gathered from the last 2 years is, yes, they do want to expose themselves to a product like pTGC and UFO. So now it's just, and even people on other blockchains want to, like, I've literally seen so many times people bridge into PulseChain specifically for the pTGC and UFO product. But I do believe when new users start coming into PulseChain, a lot of those users will want to be exposed to pTGC and UFO due to their features.
And they're going to, yeah, I think I know what you're saying, and they're going to need to be exposed to them. Is that what you're getting at? Like this should be.
Well, if they buy anything, they're technically pumping pTGC and UFO. So like we win either way. But as far as like the features that pTGC and UFO offer, APY written within code, you don't need to LP them, you don't need to do anything really with them, lose custody of them. You don't have to send them to a smart contract somewhere. This is sure a lot of people are looking for. Deflation, people want to see it scarce. They want to see it thrive in the community. Big players want to see liquidity there. We have some of the biggest liquidity pools on chain. Value generation, revenue generation. These are a lot of features that we have. And I believe once they land on PulseChain, they're going to see these features within some of RH's products and get involved with RH's products. But what we found on other blockchains and even what we've seen on PulseChain is a lot of people also want to expose them to at least a few alts on the blockchain.
We got some comments on YouTube. It's good to see Moon King in here tonight. Hope you're doing well. Miss Ingo Meme God, there's some kind of feedback or something. Do you hear that?
Yeah, Moon King, your speaker's on.
He's jamming. Miss Ingo says, I did my first stake and lock with you guys, and it wasn't that hard at all. Great job, dude. And I'm glad you found that it wasn't hard, because it is it's simple, right? LPing UFO is about as simple. You just might need a quick walkthrough. And just to show up to one of my streams, I walk through that stuff every time. And Extra PulseX says he got some hard-headed Solana brothers to buy some pTGC and UFO recently. Good job, man. And people are reposting this stream on their X. And there's a bunch of other chats. Man, there's a lot of comments in here. A lot of comments. Probably about the postcard, not postcard, the device conversation we were having.
Any comments worth reading?
Charles Campbell says, but I truly believe that the postcards are going to not your normal everyday type of people. I believe he's sending them out to the above average income, which should bring green candles. That's true. Yeah, he's not going to spend hard-earned money sending postcards to the lower income zip codes. 1,000% rich zip codes. Like Silicon Valley, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Good ideas. Fourth quarter clutch time for PulseChain Hex. It all comes down to this. Yeah, seems like we're going to have a short bull run. It could be. I like this one. Missing Meme God says, the most powerful device that could launch is us. That's a good one. Ricky Reyes Fitness Project says, I have a gut feeling that RH is going to pump the ecosystem, especially if ETH is above $5,000. I think he wants to leave a legacy, a leading pioneer in the crypto space. I agree. Charles Campbell says, I really believe a good push on TikTok by an influencer would help tremendously. Unfortunately, I'm just not that guy. Me neither. Yeah, that would be, yeah, that's Tiger Crypto God. I think he's a TikTok guy. So we can go support him. Oh, and he says, Tiger Crypto God onboarded Missing Go Meme God. He onboarded me a little more than a month ago, and boy, am I on board. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. We're glad you discovered the Gray's currencies. And thanks to Tiger Crypto God. Yeah, he's a guy. He's a character.
Yeah, he's good at TikTok too. I think he has gotten banned a few times, but I think he can gain followers very quickly, as far as I can tell and what I've heard. So for pTGC, he's a good resource there. You know, if value starts flowing into PulseChain, new users start flowing into PulseChain, pTGC keeps kind of doing what it's been doing. He's obviously a pTGC holder, a UFO holder, and I'm sure he'll kind of run with green candles just like most other people do. When green candles start to come, marketing tends to pick up, and he might be able to get some good traction over there, which I'm super happy about.
Yeah, he's a champ, man. He doesn't even, I mean, I have this image of TikTok being like the younger people, and he just shattered that image for me. But Missingo Meme God has been buddies with Tigers since they were kids. That's cool. That's cool. Charles Campbell says, so here's the thing, in my opinion. I think all of these trends and things that we've looked at in the past, as far as bull runs, etc., is going to be hard to base the future on now that we have a president who is on board with crypto. That changes everything that we've known in the past. Exposure is everything. That's definitely a factor. I know Moon King's trying to help. But I don't know that he knows that he may not be helping right now. If that's truly his phone, is that his?
Yeah, that's Moon King. Moon King, are you playing music or?
Can you mute him?
Moon King.
Crypto Dave says, Richard likes to pump his tokens when everyone else is down for maximum publicity and impact. It's September usually down. Oh, he says, isn't September usually down? Is it? I think so.
Yeah.
October. Down September, up in October, something like that.
I believe so.
Yeah.
In the past.
Have you found a way to mute him?
I don't know if he's coming up to try to speak or because he keeps coming out and coming in.
Oh,
I'll try to drop him down next time he comes up.
I think he just left. Maybe he's going to come back. I see Ty in the chat.
He's done that. He's done that a few times. He's left and come back.
Thank you, Backwards Hat Dad. He says, yeah, Rectember and October, usually. You know what I was thinking today? Because, apparently these gifts are hitting the mailboxes, I think. Maybe somebody can confirm that. But it's supposed to be soon either way. They're hitting mailboxes. PulseChain is red. You know what that smacks to me of? Shaking out just a few more people. That could be part of the plan. I mean, literally at the very beginning of a massive marketing campaign, why not, take a fraction of that and shake out a few more weekies, a few more weekends. I don't know. It's an idea.
Yeah, a few people might have been trying just to front run a pump by him and then saw that a pump didn't come by the time of information coming out and just kind of trading that news. Buy the rumor, sell the news kind of event.
Yeah.
Would be my guess. But I do think the positive impact is coming. I think it's going to be in conglomeration with some green candles from maybe big players within the ecosystem, or maybe, who knows where these green candles come from. But people receiving these devices, I don't know what it's going to say on the packaging. When they look it up, if charts are looking good and morale's looking good, I think the impact that they will have will be massive.
Oh, yeah.
Personally.
Did you see my tweet that I put out on Saturday after Spaces? The speculation on, the ROI on those mailers, like you just said, is massive. It's huge. It's just
1%. 1% of people taking action on that. If those users only bring $1,000 over, which I think is a pretty small average. I think if you consider DCAing, you know, if someone gets in and they put $1,000 in, within a few days they're up 20%, especially people who aren't in crypto and they see those types of returns that quick, they might start DCAing a little bit more. They most likely even start telling their friends, like, hey, I just came into this ecosystem. I put $5,000 in. My $5,000 now worth $8,000. Everything I've been looking at looks pretty promising. You should throw some in it too. I'll teach you how, because I had to go through the ringer learning how.
Yeah.
So that one person that gets the mailer can reach 5 more people. That's what happened last time with Hex. You know, people who started making money with Hex started telling friends, and they started telling friends. And green candles obviously attracted people to it. So, you know, I always talk about, like, I bet you when Hex started pumping last cycle, the community probably increased 10x, 20x, maybe 50x. So I personally believe we're about to see an increase of that amount of people here on PulseChain, which equals 10, 20, 50x the volume, equals 10, 20, 50x the amount of value flowing in, users flowing around. Well, this equals 10 to 20, 50x the amount of people who might want to be exposed to products like pTGC and UFO. We've seen, even with a very small amount of user base on chain, a very large percent of them want to be exposed to products like pTGC and UFO. They want to be exposed to the community. I personally believe a lot of the new people flowing in will want to be exposed. And even if they don't, when they buy other assets on the chain, they're increasing the value of pTGC and UFO alone, which hence will probably give them the reason of why they want to be exposed, because they'll start to see, wow, Hex goes up, pTGC reaps the rewards. Hex goes down, pTGC and UFO generates revenue off of that. Hex goes up, pTGC generates revenue off of it and goes up with it. PulseX goes up, you know, same thing. Most goes up as markets shift. Today was a down day. There was heavy volatility. Well, pTGC and UFO got to generate revenue off of that, and they got to use that revenue to increase the value of their own ecosystem. Like, these are a lot of the things that have attracted users to pTGC for the last 2 years. This is why we're still above 100 million market cap, with even value leaving for the last 2 years on PulseChain. So when value starts flowing in, I think all of these metrics are going to amplify, which should amplify our onboarding as well.
Absolutely. You know, not only are people going to be telling their workmates and relatives about the chain, but they're going to be telling the workmates and relatives about where they can learn more about the chain, like, certain YouTube channels and such, you know, wherever they can point their buddies to a solid resource. That's what they're going to do if they can't be that resource themselves. Crypto Stylist says, we are starting to see the return of A-list influencers like Taylor B. That is not a coincidence. I agree. Well, if she's an A-list, what's that make me? Just asking.
You're an A-list, man.
Thank you, Zan. I appreciate that. I don't feel like one. It's all right. No, that's true. And I'm excited to see Taylor, create some more content about PulseChain and the grays. She touched on the grays last time in that one video she's done in a few years. But you'll probably see more people coming out of the woodwork, more influencers, A-list, we hope, and then some more A-list influencers being created. You know what blows my mind though, Zen, is that, you know, if this bull run is truly like 6 months or 7 months or whatever it is, you know, you're talking about a lot of work that needs to happen in a short amount of time.
Well, I think, I forget the exact numbers, but what, a 50x only takes 41 10% up days. So really, we only need 41 days of 10% increases of the chain. And that's a 50x. You know what I mean? A 50x from here ain't bad. That's only a little less than a 25x sack price. I don't think that's anything to like extremely brag about, but a 50x from here turns pTGC and UFO into an absolute monster of a machine.
Yeah.
And I
you guys hear me?
That. Yeah, I hear you. You done beatboxing?
What you got, Moon King? How you doing, man?
Good, man. I've been trying to go on my computer. I was on my computer, and for some reason, it's giving feedback. So.
Oh, I see.
So.
Yeah, we didn't hear anything. It just sounded like you're literally banging on your phone or something like that.
Frustration.
Yeah. So I was gonna say on my 2 cents on the gadgets.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in here now. So, but the key is these are going to be normies. So I think there's two things that needs to be done, and I don't think it has anything to do with PulseChain itself. It does help if it gets sent to people who understand crypto or understand charts or know what's good to invest in and what's not good and what's not good to invest in, is two things. Bitcoin, and my first things first is Bitcoin needs to be streaming and doing well. So I'm hoping timing is going to be for the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think we're going to start going up in Bitcoin, and it would be good timing for the first batch of people. Followed by, obviously, PulseChain price going up is going to be good, which will give a good sentiment amongst the community, which would be a success, in my opinion. Because what that is as long as Bitcoin and Ethereum's going up and it's being talked about over the news and not crashing and everyone giving red headlines like crypto crashing, blah, 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 it's probably, but people are short-term minded, so it's not going to be a great thing. If someone gets it and within the next 2 weeks of them getting it, I'll say a week, not 2 weeks. 2 weeks seems a little long. But a week of getting it, and they're hearing Bitcoin on the news, and they're like, oh, like things are going, and it just makes them want to FOMO a little bit. That's when things can be very successful. So I think it's more on Bitcoin and Ethereum than PulseChain, because PulseChain is not making the news anytime soon. That's for the normies. Here's the negative on the normies. I hope there's directions on how to buy a damn PulseChain, and that's because if there isn't, they ain't gonna know what the hell to do.
We're gonna provide it.
They do provide that?
No, we are going to. We're gonna try to intercept people that are coming over to PulseChain and educate them, like live, a couple times a week, once a week, something.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, a normie doesn't know to go on X to get their information.
They're gonna find it on YouTube. I mean,
gotcha.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah. We need a lot of yes, but you are right. YouTube is going to be the first thing a normie goes to.
Okay,
just either ads on Google, or just like we need to get our even above PulseChain, just the ability to just an easy way of buying it. So if we have a bunch of that filling, when they type in PulseChain in Google, just to do some research on it, we just need to make sure that when they type in PulseChain or how to buy PulseChain, we've got web pages on specifically how to do it, simple directions. Obviously, you're going to have the YouTube stuff that's going to show up also. That's going to be key, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed. I'm working up something for even this week to start practicing, and hopefully these people can land on my channel. It doesn't have to be my channel, man. It can be anybody's, but somebody's got to do it.
Why not yours?
It's going to be mine.
At one point in time, so.
Yeah, they're
funny that in 2017, I had the number one XRP. I was a top 10 Binance affiliate because of XRP. And people didn't know how to buy XRP, but that's what was being shilled over the news and everything. So really, things that you also want to step out of the box on, how to buy Bitcoin, how to buy Solana, how to buy Ethereum. That sounds like why would you say PulseChain? Because they don't get as many hits as those do. So what happens is when the first person goes that and figures out, okay, this is how I buy Bitcoin, this is how I buy that, then that person goes to you for information. That's how I grew in 2017 because I had the number one affiliate for XRP. I had over 140,000 hits in almost a week because everybody was FOMOing on XRP. But what happened next? I also had them buy Cardano because Cardano was moving up, and then all the little altcoins after that, because I started growing a following on how to buy things, and they just went to me because I did it so simple. It was very easy. I talked to them like a little 5-year-old, and they were like, "This is great information. What's next? Like, what's next to buy?" Like, they're hungry for information. The thing is like, especially when that's going up, we know Ethereum's going to go up. So teach people how to buy Ethereum. Attach a Coinbase affiliate code with it. You get $10. They get $10. Everyone's happy. And now that person is happy because they wanted to buy Ethereum because that's what they came in for, is to buy Ethereum. So this is kind of things that's kind of step out of the box where we think it was just like, just PulseChain, just PulseChain, just PulseChain. Like that's how I grow individually. I just don't talk PulseChain. I talk all different types of things. So don't feel like you're being a maxi, because some of these people are going to be interested in PulseChain, but they're probably going to be interested in other things too. So you got to gain their trust, and that's the key: gain their trust.
Hey, yo, B Roots, I want to chime in on this.
Go ahead.
So I'm not really anybody in the community that's known at all, but I am a subscriber to B Roots, and he's familiar with a little bit of my background. I do have an SEO background. I rank several e-commerce sites that bring me passive income, and without a doubt, what he's saying is on point. Us ranking those types of keywords that will already have buyer intent behind them and that have search volume, because you can look this stuff up. There's an easy Google extension that I use. It's called Keywords Everywhere. And I think maybe for 1,000 credits, you may have to pay like $10 for each search that you query this, but it interfaces with the API, the application programming interface with Google on the back end, where you can look at the volume, searches per month for every keyword. And all those low-hanging fruit keywords that he's mentioning, we could rank a domain for, and I'd be more than willing, if anyone needs help with setting up the SEO part. I'm not going to, spend time building the site, but I'm definitely more than willing to show you where to put that keyword, because Google wants to see that keyword in 4 places. And I guarantee you, if you look this for any keyword, it's consistent across the board for the most. Google wants to see it in the title tag, in the URL, and the what's called an H1 tag or a heading tag, and content. Those 4 places you have that keyword. The low-hanging fruit keywords, 90% of the time you'll rank for that. I know my sites rank for over hundreds of keywords, so it can be done. And especially for PulseChain, there's a lot of real estate out there, because no one is Crypto Coffee. A lot of his web properties are ranking for certain types of things, and some others that are out there. But we need to start filling up all those spots, like he's saying, so we can start pushing traffic and pumping all our bags. So I'll probably create a video just to show what I'm speaking of in reference to. But whoever, if you just want to reach out to me on my DMs, I'm more than willing to help, because, in the end, it pumps all our bags.
Yeah, thanks for coming up and sharing that information. I'm sure Banana maybe, or anyone listening, might reach out to you to get that assistance in that field. I appreciate it.
So yeah, maybe we even have on the PulseChain page. Is there somewhere on it there's a tab that's just like how to buy PulseChain?
There is a flow chart that gives you the on-ramp options, the bridge options, and then the swap options, right? And it's kind of broken out in that direction. On the new site I'm working on a flow chart somewhat like that with links there as well to where we can send users to help them get into PulseChain from Ethereum or from Coinbase, get them through that process. And then also at the end of it, of course, is going to have how to get from PulseChain to pTGC and UFO with slippage and all that walkthrough as well. But we will have a how-to.
Yeah, I mean, just, like he said, the title of that tab, how to buy PulseChain, and then you can direct them to where you want to go to. Like you said, you can do how you're talking about, like, hey, show them how to go from Ethereum to PulseChain. And then that extra last step is, oh, hey, you can buy the number one, coin on PulseChain, which is pTGC. And that's the next step if you want to go that route.
Yeah.
But what that does is it just makes that how to buy PulseChain word heavy on that site, that tab of the page, which could have you ranked higher than any other. Any other thing. So that's something. SEO, it's like what Dave says is like you definitely want to take advantage of anything like that. I'm creating. I know many of you guys know, being my subscribers, I'm creating a specific website. It's I don't want to go too heavy in it because a lot of people are going to figure it out and do things with it, but it also is not just crypto related. It's actually stock related too. So it's going to have crypto stuff on it, and PulseChain is going to be one of the cryptos on it. It's going to be very in my marketing. It's really 3 stocks and 3 cryptos. It's going to be Bitcoin, Ethereum, and PulseChain, and it's going to be like Apple, Nvidia, and Tesla. So those are the things that are so heavily searched that I'm going to have that all on the homepage. It's going to be all throughout the whole website. It's going to have videos for it, marketing videos, stuff for it. But basically, that's just another form of, so maybe somebody's on the stock side and wants to learn, the trading version, the trading for it on the stock market, to where they're seeing Bitcoin, Ethereum, PulseChain. Bitcoin, I know Bitcoin, I know Ethereum, what's this PulseChain? So we just got to make sure we're thinking, even in our regular everyday ventures, on what we want to try to create, whether it's get more people into Bitcoin, whether it's still your own business, whether it's whatever it is. I mean, whatever you're doing here online, always think how to get somebody to get to do what you want to do. That's always the first thing in my mind. Whenever I do a post, it's what do I want to do, and what do I want the audience seeing?
Yep.
Where do I want to send them, and how do I want to do it? You can be controversial, you can be informational, you can do it however you want to do it. But those are the 3 steps that you want to make sure you do no matter what you do. So whether it's a coin, you just always want that in your mindset, is how to buy. That is the number one thing searched in crypto.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm on pulsechain.com, and it shows you how to prepare your wallet. It will show you how to buy PLS, but it's links. You gotta click on the link.
Dumb it down.
Dumb it down. Yeah, and so that's what we want to do. Like, give them a place to land where they can jump into a stream and watch somebody talk to them live, and they can ask their questions and be walked through, versus just landing on a website by yourself and having to figure it out by yourself.
Yeah, they're going to leave that website with the quickness.
Absolutely.
You got 10 seconds to track somebody.
We lost you, B. Zen, can you hear me?
I hear you, Banana, but I lost B Roots.
Okay.
Hey guys, real quick. Hey, I just wanted to come up and say thank you very, very much, Swift Ace, for that very kind gesture. I 100% understood everything that you mentioned. And yeah, let's find a way to that I can get educated on how I can run those searches to find the keywords that are current at the time. And then we'll try to get that into the new site. So thank you very much for that offer. I'll reach out to you.
Cool. He's at Swift Lace. Swift Lace.
Sweet. Yeah, that would be sweet if we could keep the inflow of people coming to PulseChain. That was kind of one thing I was talking about on one of my VCs previously is, when we get new value coming here, we want that value to land on good projects and good influencers, good ecosystems, not only just pTGC and UFO, but there's other good ecosystem out there and good influencers out there that respect people's value and try to treat them right. There's also horrible ecosystems out there and horrible influencers out there that literally are just trying to take people's value. When new people come in, if we can guide them to good projects, good influencers, people who actually respect their value and get them in profits, the ecosystem's going to grow, because then they're going to be up on their money, and then they're going to go tell a friend, and then they're going to onboard some more people. But if they land here and then just get scammed, they're most likely never telling everyone they even came into this ecosystem, and they're just shutting their computer and walking away and going on with their life. So when this onboarding process starts to happen, definitely getting them in front of the people who have a track record for winning, a track record of, having good projects in their portfolio, projects that have a track record of working, 2 years of flawless operation, pTGC and UFO, have been one of the better performing assets, can generate real revenue, tap into some of the basic ideas in traditional finance and in the real world that adds value to products like liquidity, scarcity, utility, etc. I think these are, good places to send them for education. Banana's a really good dude for onboarding people. It's impossible to not love Banana. He's a great person for PulseChain, in my opinion. B-Roots obviously has an amazing track record for guiding people in good directions of good projects, etc. So, I think just paying attention to that too. And when new value starts coming in, helping these users have a good experience, because if they have a good experience, they are most likely going to tell their friends and family about their experience as well. Very similar to any business out there, right? If you have people coming in your door and you give them a great product for a great price and they love the service, they're most likely going to tell their friends and have their friends go and get that product from you as well.
Right on. Hey, the Ricky Reyes Fitness Project says, why don't you guys make a little commercial or a video that we can download from a link for us to post in our social media and push that incentive and free marketing? I'll totally post it, he says. And incidentally, we are working on something. Actually, there is a gentleman that's working on something, and it could be ready in a week. It could be ready in a couple weeks. We're not sure, but been actually working on that for a little bit now. But everybody has lives that they're living and doing crypto in their spare time. So I guess you should say no expectations, but.
What video is he talking about?
The one we're
talking about educational video or intro video of pTGC and UFO, or a video to help onboard people.
It sounds like he didn't specify, but what I pictured was one about the Grays, and
cool.
The one I was mentioning is one we're in that small group about. I forget the gentleman that's making it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I didn't know what he was referring to in his question.
Yeah, so when that video comes out, Ricky, you will see it on X and in Telegram, and then that'll be your chance to get it on your socials. I keep hearing good things about Internet Money Wallet. Missing Go Meme God says Internet Wallet is by far the easiest way, not the cheapest, but the easiest way to onboard. And then people are, mentioning Liberty Swap. I like cracking USDC to my wallet and then swap on Liberty Finance.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's difficult, because I do hope that the ease of getting to PulseChain gets easier and easier and easier, and we need to either keep adjusting with whatever the easiest way in is. Like, that was one thing that I threw at the team for the onboarding section. Just a month ago, there was no Liberty Swap. So I was doing a different direction as far as the onboarding section, but now I had them also include the Liberty swap section as well as an alternative for people who, obviously are bringing smaller amounts over. I still think if you're doing a larger amount, it makes sense to just go through the main bridge and wait the time. But I get what the utility of the fast swap is. Definitely when I've onboarded people, they look at me like I'm crazy when I'm sitting there next to them for 30 minutes as we wait for the funds to go over the bridge. But
it's safe. You're familiar with it. You know it's going to work. Absolutely. Especially when you have somebody by your side, it adds a little bit of stress to the whole situation. You don't need to be trying something new. While we have the audience, Zen, there are a bucket load of people on Spaces tonight on a holiday. This is wonderful. UFO on pulsefolio.com. UFO finally made it to the top row. Congratulations, everybody. pTGC and UFO are in the top row. There's only 3 spots up there right now. And if you're not voting, may I encourage you to vote at pulsefolio.com twice per day. And that's plsfolio.com. You can vote twice per day. Make sure you vote for UFO also while you're there. It kind of, I don't quite get it, but I understand people's time is limited, but vote for both. You're already there. Just vote for both of them. And I guess if you really had to only vote for one, vote for UFO because it needs a bump up. I mean, honestly, both these tokens are in the top row. I want them both in the 1 and 2 spot. Hey, they're in the top row. But let's get UFO some more votes.
yeah, just for everyone listening, this is a pTGC and UFO space. So if anyone has any questions or conversations about pTGC and UFO, anything you've been running into that you want explaining, even if you're not running into it, you just have a question about the ecosystem, feel free to raise your hand and come up. If you don't feel comfortable coming up, you can also ask your question in the comments section of Prairie Banana's YouTube, which he's live on right now. He's also showing visuals on YouTube. So if you don't like coming up, you can have a more interactive experience just watching Banana on his YouTube. You can see him there and then also his screen as well.
Yeah. And Crypto Dave makes the point that the devices are plausible deniability for Richard. He can buy, and folks might think it's new folks because of marketing tablets. And yes, we've had that conversation. That's true. Very true.
100%. I think either if it's him buying or other people buying, it comes across better as it looking like it's other people buying over him.
Yeah.
If we see $50,000, $100,000 clips coming over to buy PLS, Hex, PulseX, it maybe feels cool it being Richard and watching it on chain. But as far as organic growth, it definitely probably is a lot better for the longevity of the ecosystem. It looking or it actually being real users. If it's real users, this is a real network that's growing, and those people have their own friends, families that they can reach out to and expose to PulseChain in general. And this is what helps PulseChain grow into a thriving blockchain that's continuously growing over a period of time, is obviously what we're all looking for.
Yes.
And why we're all here.
Somebody was asking about the yield for holding and staking and locking. And I actually got a little bit of that information together today. I'm going to show it on the screen for you guys, the history of it. But just for those that are listening, like if you're holding 100 million UFO in your wallet in the month of August, you earned 42,400 pTGC. Did I say UFO? pTGC. If you're holding 100 million pTGC in your wallet, just for in reflections, you would have earned 42,400. If you were staked, you would have earned an additional 67,600 pTGC for being staked. And then here we go, unlocks. Now this is, let me block this off a little bit. If you were locked, and this would mean like a 10-year lock. Let me hide these columns. I got to be careful when I do that, that I don't delete them. Okay, I hid them. So if you're locked 100 million, if you had 100 million PTDC locked, 10-year lock earning 100%, you would have earned 115,870 PTDC because we unlocked, I think we unlocked over 500 million PTDC, which is a little above average for the month. But there you have it. Holding 42,000, staking 68,000, locking 116,000 per 100 million. And then you can figure your bags based on that.
Yeah, so if I'm hearing you right, is this August you said, or what month was this?
August.
So August, if you're locking actually paid the most APY out of every single one. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, actually it did. Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that's cool. So for everyone listening, what we've gathered from the last 2 years is if you're staking your PTGC, you earn roughly 150% more APY over just holding. You can just hold. There's a lot of people who don't like interacting with smart contracts. If you're a user who doesn't think you're going to be in the Gray's currency for a long period of time, it does make more sense to just hold. But if you do plan on staying in PTDC for a period of time, you actually are planning on using PTDC as a store of value or at least a longer term play, it does make sense to go one step further and stake your tokens, because when you are staked, you earn 150% more APY over just holding. And when you are staked, the tokens remain in your wallet at all times. You are not giving up custody of your tokens to earn an APY. The staking pretty much just makes it to where you can't sell until you unstake it. When you unstake it, it's a 1% fee. And you can also interact with the DAO when you are staked in the Grace.
Thank you for expanding on that. Duffy Slicing saying, asks, can you explain the process of revaluation of PulseChain? What exactly does it entail? I think it's just it's a community thing, is it not? The revaluation, like when price goes up, then we all just revalue. We have a new image of PulseChain. Is that what the reference for revaluation is? That's how
Correct.
I look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to expand on it for them, or I can kind of rant about it, or
let me give it a try first. So there's nothing really that's going to happen to the chain. It's just a renewed vision or an upgraded vision from all the holders, because once the chain starts moving up, then we're going to be like, oh, it's my chain. It's finally successful. It has so much more value now. That's the revaluation of the PulseChain from my perspective, because right now the value is, yes, it's there, but it's not like it's going to be.
Yeah, I'll add into it a little bit. So specifically with pTGC and UFO, why I'm excited for the revaluation, for one, our ecosystem has put a lot of time, a lot of revenue into buying the core assets and pairing pTGC and UFO with these core assets. So pTGC and UFO are very, very heavily bonded with core assets. And since genesis of PulseChain, since genesis of pTGC and UFO, the core assets have been performing rather poorly. So since we are so heavily bonded to them, they've been currently like an anchor to our ecosystem. Even with that anchor, our system has performed amazingly well. So even in an unfavorable environment, pTGC and UFO have been able to perform very, very well. So what we can see is when the assets that we are so heavily bonded to, with millions of dollars in liquidity, even we've actually put our economic energy from our DAO into buying more of these assets, bonding ourselves with them more. When these assets start to perform well, they're not only going to increase the value of pTGC in a matter of however long it takes. Let's say PulseChain in general, RH tickers in general go up 10x in, let's say, a few months, right? Like there's a massive revaluation of the PulseChain assets. Well, this instantly is going to revalue pTGC's price This is going to revalue UFO's price. It's also going to revalue the pTGC and UFO liquidity web. And when it revalues the liquidity web, let's say the liquidity web is currently worth $15 million. Well, with a revaluation of a 10x, that liquidity web backing pTGC and UFO's price would go to $150,000. That's just a 10x. Or sorry, $150 million, not $150,000. pTGC and UFO's liquidity would revalue from $15 million to $150 million of liquidity. And for our ecosystem, it's very unique what that means. In a standard token, the liquidity is just a cash register for users to enter in and out of the ecosystem. In our system, that's value that's actually working for us. So every time someone comes into pTGC, their value is instantly put into work, and it's actually generating revenue. So if we go from having $15 million of value that's put to work generating us revenue, it generates us a certain amount. I think in the last year, it was close to $10 million or something like that. Well, if we revalue that by 10x, very easily that can go from $10 million of revenue generation to $100 million of revenue generation. So now if pTGC and UFO are generating $100 million a year in revenue generation and it's sustained, this equals a lot more sustainability. This equals better APY for the users who adopted pTGC at times like today. This is increasing the buy and burn. This is increasing LP ads. It increases the overall value of our ecosystem, not only in price, but also in liquidity and also in its ability to generate revenue as well. All of the mechanics increase along with, again, going back to the revaluation of the blockchain. Since the blockchain is currently sitting at low levels, in my opinion, it's bogging down the ability pTGC has to generate, which is giving users an opportunity to get a decent sized position in an amazing product for an extremely cheap price. But when Richard's tickers start to move, these discounted prices can disappear rapidly. And then the machine could start to turn on. And what I've seen is when the machine starts to turn on from we've seen it go up like 2-3x from here. More people start to notice how powerful the machine is. So right now, let's say we're generating, like I said, like $10 million a year in revenue generator. What happens if that 10x's? What happens if that 20x's? Well, you're going to 100 million, 200 million. Well, this starts to become larger numbers, and usually larger numbers attract audiences. They attract eyeballs. So then we're not only getting the attraction of the new users that are possibly coming into PulseChain from this reevaluation, because reevaluation comes from money flowing in. So when money flows in, they might be attracted to obviously these metrics that pTGC and UFO offer. But then also, I think these metrics will also attract the people who are sitting on other blockchains looking for products like pTGC and UFO. I'm pretty sure everyone can kind of relate to even a journey that I had in blockchain. Is I came to crypto looking for a specific product, a product that kind of checked a lot of my boxes. It's very difficult to find it, especially with the not so good products usually being the loudest with the best marketing, because scams and just extracting value, which helps them do largest marketing. But if we can have a product that kind of speaks so loud just fundamentally due to its mechanics that we can kind of break into these other ecosystems with pure value growth, pure value generation through, features that we believe in, and then also the power of being built on an undervalued blockchain that could start increasing very rapidly in a very short amount of time, I think this could be very powerful. And that's really what the revaluation is to pTGC and UFO. This revaluation also helps pretty much everything on PulseChain. This helps even the scam tokens on PulseChain, because whatever remaining tokens are in, that stuff revalues as well. Usually when PulseChain revalues or when assets revalue, the tokens that no one wants get sold into first because they're trying to get at that revaluation. And with the good projects that have sustainability, this usually helps those assets grow. I kind of like to use the analogy, when tides are low, you can't tell what ships float and which ones are sunk to the bottom of the ocean because it's all that low. But when the levels start to rise, the ships that are sunken, the ships that have all the holes, remain at the bottom, and the one that are battle tested and strong will actually rise with the tides. I believe pTGC and UFO are one of those assets, one of those tokens that will rise with the tides.
There you go, Duffy. There's your thorough answer. And he acknowledges that was the answer he was looking for. So perfect.
Yes. Sorry, I kind of gave a good 5-10 minute rant or whatever that was, but I think it was a great question, so I wanted to dig into it as much as I could.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had that question, Ashley. It's perfect. Who else has comments?
What percentage of people that get converted from the mail-in marketing do you think comes to pTGC?
Oh boy.
I think 50%.
That's a high percentage from my estimation. Wow. I mean, what's the percentage of people on PulseChain that hold the Grace currencies right now?
That's my point. I think it's bigger than what we are led to think it is.
Well, we got 16,000 wallets in pTGC. And how many wallets for PulseChain?
That's going to be very hit or miss, because I would say it needs to be active wallets, because as long as you have Ethereum in your wallet, you have PulseChain. So
True.
That's a very fake number. I would probably say no more than active. I would say I did something on my stream. It was 37,000 people who invested $10,000 or less, which was the majority of people. Let me go to my bookmarks real quick, because I have that right here, and I'll be able to bring up the sacrifice chart. And then what I'll do is I will kind of extrapolate from there, because I would believe that a good amount, I won't say majority, but a good amount of those people sold and left.
Sure.
And also a good amount of people came in. So let's see here.
Yeah, I kind of always use the number that I think there's roughly 10,000 active PulseChain users.
Definitely wow, you think it's that low? I would think it'd be more.
No, I mean like active, for an example, like my dad is a sacrificer for PulseChain, PulseX. I don't consider my dad a active user. Like, he's never touched his wallets once, and they're just sitting there. You know what I mean? So I'm more saying active PulseChain users. I think it's around 10,000.
I would still put it higher than that. I do think it's higher than that. And the reason why I will say that is I look at Teddy Bear, the OG Teddy Bear that Maria scammed out everybody out of positions. And that was 25,000 wallets. Now, it shows that now, but a lot of them are dust wallets. So if you look at it now, it's about 10,000 wallets, 10 to 12,000 wallets. So there's more people trading and active on pTGC than there is the old Teddy Bear. So I would cut that, down to 5,000 people might have dropped off from last year. So I would say probably 20 to 30,000 active is what I would put it at. I think it's more. Now, I know, even pTGC, a lot of people have multiple wallets.
Well, and also with the pTGC holder count, a lot of the lower wallets are obviously dust wallets, because a lot of people don't realize how many people have actually been bought out of their positions by the buy and burn, by the DAO, by new users coming in. There's tons of people that have taken profits in pTGC and just left. So there's a lot of those wallets that are counted there in the 16,000. I think that quantity of wallets within pTGC is also very powerful in the fact that how many people have actually been bought out of their positions who didn't want to go through the full journey with us, but still been able to keep this chart that's very nice compared to the environment that we've been in.
So here we go. We got 37,000 wallets, roughly at $10,000 or more. Additional 1217 plus 673 plus 484 plus 169 plus 84 plus 73 plus 5. So 39,705 people sacrificed for PulseChain. Now, PulseX came around and it was a little bit more. But obviously, we'll just round that up to 40,000. 40,000 of them were from PulseChain and copied over. So I don't know how many people actually sacrificed for the PulseX. I wouldn't say it would be that much more people. And then you would have to, I would say probably half of those people are either going with, people coming in. So yeah, I would say like 20,000 people. Active, 15 to 20. So we're in the same area. So I would say, yeah, I think that almost half of the people in PulseChain active own pTGC. They're just not talking about it. They're not saying anything. Being quiet.
Sure. Which, back to your point, how many people are going to jump into the Grays currencies when they come over to PulseChain?
So if half of the people are already there, I'm willing to bet that half the people that go into, so if we got a 2.5% conversion rate, and let's just say 5 million are sent out by the end of the year, I'm not crazy by saying that 0.025, that means 125,000 wallets come in, and I said $5,000 a little lower. Because if they're sending the rich people's address, then I'm just going to straight up and say that $5,000 is a very low number.
Sure. That
someone from making $100,000 plus would invest and take a chance on. That's $625 million. Let's just say of that, I think half the people will go in, but how much would they actually invest of that? I would be willing to say 25% of that.
25% of what again?
25% of what gets put in the PulseChain. So if I think half the people are going to do it, at a $5,000 investment at a 2.5% conversion rate of 5 million, that equals $625 million injected into PulseChain or the PulseChain ecosystem. When they come on Twitter, they're going to hear about pTGC. So I'm willing to bet that 25% of that money goes into pTGC at some point by
which
is $156 million.
Correct. Do you know what the impact on the price is going to be?
That goes back to our video that
we're about to find out. It would be a.
You know, real quick before you go on that, what's the other crazy part to think about, B, is where else would that value go? Let's say other alts that are somewhat decent of size on chain. pTGC is one of the largest liquidity providers for any of those assets. So even the value that doesn't come directly into pTGC, if it goes to Most, if it goes to PDI, if it goes to Hex, if it goes to PulseX, if it just sits in Pulse, those also indirectly but directly pump pTGC's price as well.
And that's why I think half of people are going to see that, because if they're going online hearing about that, they're going to hear about pTGC monster pumping, and that's the foam. That's where the FOMO.
Oh yeah.
Comes in. Even if you say, okay, 25% of that is going to get split amongst all the altcoins, and that equals $156 million. And let's just say half of that goes to pTGC because it gets the loudest voices, that's still $78 million of fresh money coming in.
Brown
And
conservative.
that's an average rate of 2.5%. So like obviously you can go lower if you don't think it's going to go as high, or you can go higher if you think it's going to go. I don't think it'll go higher. I like to stick with the average of what actually works in the real world. So I mean that's a very valid number, and it could be debatable whether $5,000 is too much.
Sure, it could be. They could put in $5,000 the first week or the first month, and then catch the vision and put in 10 the next.
Correct. Yeah. Like oh crap, this thing's going up higher. Let me put some more in. And then you're gonna have some people who are like straight up gamblers and willing to put $100K in.
Absolutely.
That's just the average of someone putting $50 in, someone putting $100,000 in, someone putting $5,000, someone putting $1,000. I'm just saying the average $5,000, which is a very low number in my opinion.
So to your point of 0.25% of the, I think you said 650 million would be 156 million. Mm-hmm. That would move the price 1,410x, 1,410x, 56 cents.
So let's just say the 156 million, just be like, all right, Moon King, you're off. That went into all altcoins, but only half of it went into pTGC at 78 million.
Uh-huh. 1 second. Calculate 371x, 15 cent pTGC. Yeah.
And that doesn't include PulseChain going up at all in that, what you're typing in, Banana?
Correct. I'm using the Moon Math 2.0.
Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, because obviously if value flows in for pTGC or in a conglomerate, if value flows into PulseChain, we're automatically getting the X's from it landing in PulseChain. That's the crazy part that a lot of people I don't think are really picking up on is there is less value on this chain than there was 2 years ago. So Pulse has been dropping technically for 2 years, and we've been able to do this amount of X's. With just value flowing into PulseChain, it literally doesn't even need to land on pTGC. It could literally just land in Pulse and pump pTGC. It could even go into every alt on-chain besides pTGC and still pump pTGC up against PulseChain. And now if we do, because, obviously it's a great product, it has good product market fit, it's got a loud community, a great community, it's got people like B Roots who obviously have a show and an influence on chain that talk about pTGC. If just a small portion of that value makes its way to pTGC on top of what we get from everything else, the numbers get crazy, which then just attracts more people to pTGC, of course.
Duffy Slation says, you can't make bread on most of PulseChain without the grays getting a slice, period. It's a good way to put it, man.
But yeah, I agree. I think if you look at the amount of people on chain and you ask yourself, what percentage of those people have gotten into pTGC? I think it's a very large percentage. So you have to assume that every new person coming into PulseChain, if it's 50%, it's the same exact equation. Yep. I actually think it's going to be more.
I think what we saw with the pumping, we're seeing pumping being done by, fairly small fish. Now you're actually would be seeing pumping being done by big fish.
Well, pTGC, there's only a few tokens even on chain that can even take on big fish, because most products don't even have enough liquidity to take in a big fish on chain. Yeah. So even the amount of competition we have at that point, it becomes a lot smaller. And then we're pretty much bonded with any big player on chain anyways. So if they get the big fish, we still reap the benefits from it. Yeah. And then if that big fish comes and then that big fish goes, a lot of people don't realize the token, if they didn't come and go into pTGC, but they went and came in and out of another asset that we're bonded to, a lot of times that asset that they go in and out of doesn't benefit, but we do. We make revenue off of it in our sub ecosystem, which is super unique.
Yeah, people don't realize that people work to get influence share amongst the community. Whoever you say have big influence is going to get the money of people coming in the chains. That's simple. I could name maybe 3-4 people that's going to get numbers, and then it's going to, in my opinion, it's going to like people like Prairie, like your stuff is going to grow extremely fast once PulseChain starts going, because you're going to have all the tutorials, you're going to have all the salts and all that stuff. So you're going to be kind of elite in that. Like when you talk about PulseChain in general, maybe Crypto Coffee. It all depends on how they go on. If they go on YouTube, probably Crypto Coffee wins that battle. If they go on Twitter, I'm probably going to win that battle. And then whatever I win, anyone that's doing coins that I'm shilling, it's all going to literally just scatter amongst them, and then they'll grow individually like that. So it's almost like a tree where Richard Hart's on top. He sends these devices out. People start being intrigued and figuring out, what's going on. And then, you approach this Moon King or Crypto Coffee or Prairie, and, however it is. And then it kind of trickles down the tree like that. So
yeah,
that's, if people are complaining about whatever coin they're in is not doing it so hot, well, maybe they should have been working at their craft. Yeah, 2 years to work on your craft.
Yeah, another thing, B-Roots, I kind of been pondering about is even the people that are currently on PulseChain, the people that aren't in it, aren't necessarily not in it because they don't like the product. They're not in it just because they saw it way earlier and the price moved on kind of without them. And they're like, hey, I don't want to buy this high. Like, I'm just not going to play that one, which is cool, right? Like, you don't have to win on every single one. That some people just don't want to get into pTGC because of the movements it's made. I think they'll do quite well with PulseChain alone, so that's cool. But new users coming in, they have no emotions on that. The day they come in, they see every product at the price it is at that day. It's not like they were there when the product was 10x, 20x cheaper. So they look at everything like, wow, this is the best opportunity I got in at. I'm happy when I got in at. I'm willing to take a position here, 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 and here, right? There's no emotions tied to it. They're just glad that they got onto the chain and they're seeing the assets that exist here at the prices that they're at today.
Correct.
They'll look at pTGC and say, wow, this asset is going upwards. It's at a $1 billion market cap, but, Shiba Inu's at this $1 billion market cap. I'm getting in early. They're not going to care that Prairie got in at, 5 million or 10 million, whatever Prairie got in at. That's the least of their worries.
Yeah. I mean, even at the noob status, even for noob status, they're not going to know that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, they don't even know that stuff.
Yeah, it's like it's like the least of what they're thinking of. They're just thinking like, what's the next hot thing? What's the next best thing? People ask me all the time, well, you heard about that Pepe? Like when Pepe was already at $9 billion market cap. Like they don't know that stuff. It's the kind of the echo chamber we're in.
Yep. Well, what else is shaking, guys?
Richard went on a little tweet storm today, which was nice to see. I don't know if you want to pull that up if we're kind of moving on.
Yeah. He said, look what it costs. He said, oh, look what costs $15 at Staples. And And he says it's funny how people talk about stuff being a couple bucks and then forget it's $15 shipping or something. Lol. Yeah, and he says it's funny how people don't know how to math. Imagine this example. Math works like $10 million to one person, or $1 million to 10 people, or $100,000 to 100 people, and this is getting better every time. $10,000 to 1,000 people, $1,000 to 10,000 people, $100 to 100,000 people, $10 to a million, or $1 to 10 million. I like the $1 to 10 million. I mean, let's reach as many as possible and find the most valuable gift to give them. And I think he managed to do that. I saw something that those devices that he's sending to those people are quite a hot item on Amazon. So he was probably working with somebody to help him with that campaign. And I don't know what he paid him, but I'm sure it was worth it if he did.
You know, one thing I found interesting about that tweet is I feel like those numbers are a little bit telling, right? Like, I feel like him using that $10 million number could be not just put there on accident. Maybe that's the amount of money he did spend on this.
It would, it would not surprise me. This is a huge expense.
And then when you see it broken down backwards, I wonder, because each piece I saw people posting on like Alibaba and stuff costing like 50 cents a piece. Well, once you pay for the shipping and all that kind of stuff, I definitely think it maybe was worth $1 or maybe even a little bit more per unit.
Sure.
Once you mail it to everyone's addresses. So I felt like that breakdown was pretty telling possibly on what's to come. You know, at the end of it, he says 10 million units, $1 a unit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's possibly what we could be seeing.
Mm-hmm. That's an expensive campaign. I'm thankful that he's
$10 million campaign, $10 million a unit if he budgeted $1 per unit, you know, with shipping and everything included.
Yeah. But it's still, I mean, for $1, if he's buying the unit and getting it delivered to the mailbox for $1, that would be very inexpensive. But he's buying bulk, you know. So, but still $1, that's amazing. Especially considering they were manufactured overseas and had to be shipped, you know.
I don't know what's going, you know, how much it weighs. I would be willing to bet it is over 13 ounces.
Okay.
If it's not over 13 ounces, you're probably looking at, I mean, I used to do this for like a cell phone company I had. And it was about, you know, if I ship the iPhone out, which weighs just under 13 ounces with the box and with the like shipping everything, it would be like close to 13 ounces. Back then it was $2.18. So probably now maybe it's $1 more. Like, let me see what first class shipping is. First class shipping costs. Because obviously, I mean, that was 10 years ago, so it's probably way more different now. 73 cents to mail.
Well, I think he also got
some 13 ounces because it's going to be, you got to count the box or the envelope also. All right, so the max it would be $4.27. Man, that went up a lot lately.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he's paying that much per unit for sure.
Well, I mean, unless they have,
I know that
it wouldn't be that much. It wouldn't be that much discounted though. I mean, let's say like $3 to ship it. Like, I mean, that's the max discount they would give you on a bulk deal like that, I would think.
Well, I think they have a bulk deal. I think they have a bulk deal, and I think they get a discount because of it being a nonprofit too. But obviously, like 50% off? That's still quite expensive. $2.
I mean, you could do a media mail, so you can count it as media mail. That cheapens it tremendously. It takes a little longer to get to the people, but it would be cost on 13 ounces. Media mail is going to be the cheapest way to mail out something, and even that's going to be $4.63 for commercial pricing. So that's $4.63 for commercial pricing and $4.47 for retail pricing. So yeah, I mean, it would be first class most likely. So I would say probably like even if you say it's $4 and then you get a 30% discount for doing it bulk. I'll take $1.20 off, so $3 and $2.80 plus, let's just say $2.80 plus, let's just say 70 cents for a device, maybe buying it in bulk like that, $3.50 per. But then you got the envelope to ship it in.
Yeah. So the bottom line is
at the
expensive.
At the end of the day, what matters in marketing, in any type of marketing, is how much cost do you put in and how much cost you put out.
Mm-hmm.
If you put $10 million in and you got $10 million and $1 of buy pressure, you win.
Yep.
Because that $10 and $1 also equals $10 million and $1 of fresh new money. But that's also considering, hey, I told Uncle Bob about it, and Uncle Bob put in some more money. So you're not even counting for that. You're just counting for the people that you sent it to. So that would be a successful campaign. As long as you are break even or in the green by even just a penny, because the word of mouth is what matters the most. You know, if you switch from Verizon to AT&T and you save yourself $10, you go to Thanksgiving and you're talking about your new phone and the new T-Mobile plan you signed up that saves you $15, and now Uncle Bob's going over to T-Mobile to save $15 too. They don't count that in the marketing budget. So there's a lot of stuff people don't really think about when they're talking about marketing, because they know absolutely nothing about marketing.
Yep. And we got holidays coming up too. Holiday season is coming up. So the timing is excellent.
I mean, personally, I think the gadget is kind of trash. Like, not really would be my first, go-to thing. But at the end of the day, it's not about the gadget. It's the idea.
It's the idea. Yeah.
Yeah. If you went postcard, I'm telling you right now, like, I would 100% throw that in the trash. This device, no, I'm actually going to at least look at it and see what it is. I'll probably Google it on my phone, and maybe I won't go any further. But, there are people that would 100% go further.
Yeah. And once they can put a magnet on it, stick it to the refrigerator, and all the ladies and the guys too, are coming into the kitchen and they're in the holidays. Oh, what's this on your refrigerator? They're going to, and then when they're cruising YouTube and they see similar branding, then they're going to be likely to click on that YouTube, right? Whether it's a Crypto Coffee or a Prairie Banana.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Or a B Roots. Yeah, man.
Heck, all we got to do now is just, how about we we figure out who they mailed it to, and we do our own campaign just with cheap postcards. We'll do the cheap version of it. Send them out. PTGC only.
Absolutely, man.
PulseChain tablet. Check out this PTGC.
When I do a mailing campaign, it's going to be postcards. So simple.
Oh yeah, go cheap. He already did the tough work. He gave you a gadget, but then you hit him a second round.
Oh, that's right.
With a PTGC postcard.
You're right. We need to get the list.
Yeah, that's what.
All right.
The list is going to be the richest people, the richest counties in America. Like, that's what it's going to. Guaranteed. 100%.
If you get a hold of the list, let me know, because I will want to have a copy of it.
And that would be cheap. How much is, let's say, 1 million postcards?
Oh, postcards are crazy cheap. I think you could do like, I don't know, $1,000, just $1,000. But if you're talking about $1 million, that's, yeah, it's going to be tens of thousands of dollars for postcards.
No,
But part of it,
I mean, still though, like you can get 5,000 postcards at 3 cents each. And let's just say we could probably get 1 million for half that. So 1 million times 0.015 is going to run us $15,000.
that's 1 million.
I think we should do it, dude.
You said $15,000 for $1 million?
Yeah, $15,000 for $1 million. Now you gotta pay postage, but I mean that's not gonna be nothing. What 40 cents?
Yeah, and you're hitting these people a second time.
Now the postage is where it's gonna get us to send them out.
Oh, well, there are companies
that is nothing. The cards is cheap. It's the postage is where we're gonna get hit.
You work with a company that does it all. You know, you do the design, and even they can do it. But you can do the design. You send it over to them. They print it and they mail it. And
how
they charge.
That's a subject rack. How much does it cost to mail out 1 million custom postcards in bulk? 25 G's.
Is that?
No,
Okay.
Just made it up.
Yeah, I'm looking it up on ChatGPT.
Rock is telling me 1 million. Sheesh. Low end $150,000.
So to hit the 10 million, it'd be 1.5 million. But you can get a bulk discount too. You can get it can be cheaper.
Printing custom postcard printing costs. Hold on, total cost estimate. Marketing mail. Yeah, that's expensive. So total nonprofit postage is gonna it would run us. Printing is gonna be 125,000. Marketing mail. Okay, so here we go. This is on the low end.
Okay.
Marketing mail nonprofit, $156,000 for the postage. Printing is going to be $125,000 plus $95,000 for addressing it. Run you about $376,000.
You said 376 total?
Yeah.
For $1 million.
For $1 million.
Okay, and if Richard Hart's campaign is 10 million, let's say, you got a 10x that. That's
3 million, 3.7 million.
3.7 million for 10 million postcards. You could probably get it for a fuzz less. But that might be an option.
But I'm saying, price is pumping. We got all this money coming in. $376,000 in the Dow might come faster than we think.
And like I was, yes. And
are we going to get $376,000 out of that after, it's just something to think about.
Like I was saying a minute ago, after these people have already gotten a large device or whatever, a generous gift in the mail, and they've been exposed to crypto, and then they get a postcard in the mail for some other crypto. It's like marketing is like a boxing match.
Correct.
You punch, and then they finally go down. Well, Richard Hart's can't. Richard Hart's is the first punch. It's one down.
A great postcard. Did you miss out on those PulseChain games? How about you go with the pTGC? check your laptop and look how much you missed out on the PulseChain games. There's still time for you to buy pTGC. My mind thinks crazy that way.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny though. Hey, Rich, if we just delayed the postcard like 2 months after
Yeah.
the device. We just
And then all of a sudden, it's like millions of dollars just coming out of nowhere.
just send them the postcard. Just so you know, PulseChain's up 5x since you received that device.
Yeah. Paul Sack says it's time to do a sacrifice.
However, even though pTGC's up, 20x from that time, it's still a lower market cap, so you have a better opportunity. But yeah, I mean that just shows you just a postcard right there is going to cost you $3.7 million. So you add the device, it's going to be a little bit more in weight and cost. So it's I would say 70 times the cost, and then probably double to triple the cost of the actual postage. So,
but a 10 million mail piece marketing campaign is enormous.
Yeah.
Okay. The reward, the benefit, the ROI from that would be, you can hardly put it into words.
When is it 10 million by? Is it 10 million by a certain date? Does anyone know?
Run that by me again.
Is there a certain date for the 10 million, or is it just?
It's speculation that it's 10 million mail pieces. But is there a certain date? My understanding.
I mean, these guys are like slaving away as volunteers. So
right.
10 million is a lot.
Yeah, I'm estimating.
100 person can't 100 person, little line they got going on there.
Right. They're probably going to get better at what they're doing, but it is a lot. It's going to be a lot of work. But here's the thing: bull market over in 6 months. So you take 6 months of weeks. That's 25 weeks. 10 million mail pieces. That's 400 mail pieces per week. So they got to pump 400,000 mail pieces every single week to get it out within 6 months.
That's a lot.
And that is a lot.
I mean, you're going to have, so you got 400 pieces. Let's just say it takes.
Keep in mind, I think that the 10 mil number is across all multiple countries, not just out of that one location. So it has to be a divide and conquer kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah, that's true.
There's no way they can get 400,000 out of a week out of one facility. That's like,
well, I mean, I would be willing to bet
a week. That's like 60,000 a day.
I would be willing to bet at least half of it is going to be America.
I would think so.
If not, even make that in bigger, 75% would be America. But let's just say half just to make it easy. You got 5 million. So we got 5 million in 6 months. So that's going to be divided by 6. That's going to be 833,000 a month divided by 4. That's going to be 208,333. So let's just say 208,000. Make it easy. That would be 208,000 pieces a week. If it takes, let's just say, 3 minutes, 4 minutes to pack it up, you would say?
Well, I think all they're doing is putting an address label on it. That's already in a package.
Oh, so it's already in a package. So
I believe so.
Okay. So it's that's simple enough. I'm thinking they're gonna take the raw gadget out, package it in a custom PulseChain envelope, and mail it out.
That could be. Honestly, that could be, but that's not my understanding. Actually, I'm just going off what I think in my head because all I've heard is that they're sticking labels on them.
I would think that they would just get them put in the envelope wherever they bought this stuff because they have the manpower at these factories to get as much of the work done for you as possible.
Yep.
And it costs a very small fraction more to just have them do that packaging. So like you're saying, but then I bet you're right. They just have the sticker or the printing that they have going on the package that they're going to, put the PulseChain logo on and stuff. He talked about that in his post. So I would think they're already packaged in what they need to be to ship. Because why would you put that on your volunteers when you could get it done for like literal pennies more to each unit,
Which are cheap. I'll let you know right now, that motherfucker's cheap. That's one cheap dude. He would do that. 100% he would do that. He would be more like, well, I could let them work for their bags. They could do the work and do it. I can get an additional 3 million devices for that, which give you this much more money. Like that's his mind. 100%. 1,000% his mindset.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean that's still a lot of devices. Like that's manpower. Man, that chain better be pumping. If I was on that freaking assembly line, bro, I'd be pissed.
That's hard work.
I would be pissed. Cause that's just not gonna. You're taking time away from family and jobs. Sheesh.
That's hard work too.
Yeah. So anyway.
Just a repetitive thing over and over and over again for 8 hours straight is mentally exhausting.
I don't even know you gotta do it again in the morning. Next day. I mean, I would assume they've got at least 25 people. I would hope.
That's a lot of volunteers.
Yes, I know. Because if not, like, I'm just like, man, that's just all hours of the work, like, for 6. Gosh. Hey.
I don't even think where they have them can hold 25 people, to be honest with you. Like, running a crew of 25 people is a larger task than people realize. Like, running a crew of 5 people, takes some serious effort in a small facility.
Yeah.
And then you got people just not working. You got people working at different paces and shit. You're just like, oh, gosh. Like, ugh.
Yeah, you have one person mad that they're packaging more than the other person, even though they're all just volunteers anyways.
Can't get too bad at them.
They're like, fire that guy. They're like, he's here for free.
Hey, everyone's got different skill sets. I'll tell you right now, that's not my skill set. So I thank you. Thank me for what I'm doing here, and I'll thank you for what you're doing. We all win.
Yeah, that's right, man. What would you have sent out, B-Ritz? Yeah. Postcards? Serious.
I would probably have sent out. See, you can't mail out money. If you could mail out money, I would probably send out an actual dollar.
Yep.
With a postcard.
You can send out money. I've received money as a advertisement piece before.
You can, but the chances of it getting stolen are high, especially if it's bulk and the guy finds out it's money. Like, I guess it's a job thing. Like, yeah, you can send out money, but it's just. I guess it's easy to cover it up if you just cover it up the right way. But
I think I just received a dollar bill. It was like $1 bill or $5 bill maybe I received.
It would allow you to read the card. Because one, you could put it. The problem is with a card, you would have to have a who is it from? and then maybe be like your secret admirer, so it's just something that really intrigues your interest, to open it up and not throw it away. And then once I open up and see the dollar in there, I'm obviously going to read. And right there, you can just make something, you can just make it very, call to action like.
B, did you just say you're going to label it that it's from their secret admirer? You're gonna literally cause divorces. Could you imagine your wife going to keep that up, dude? They'd be running from this blockchain.
Oh, man. I don't know. It's just the first thing I thought of.
These guys.
But like that would probably be my thing.
If I received that in the mail and it said that, I swear, I think I would grab that envelope and throw it straight in the trash can as quickly as possible. Never even open it.
Yeah.
But that would be my thing. The actual dollar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, an interesting one is offer them free gas token or something like that, but it's a call to action. Like, and that would be the hard part, to where it's only given to them if they actually end up in the situation where they're there on chain with the wallet created. So it's only getting paid out to like the actual onboards. Like, so then you're like sending stuff out, but a lot of it you just never hand that dollar away. So if you're giving out, let's say, because think about if you sent out $100, dollar to each person, you got 2% of those people. Well, you could have offered someone like $50 in crypto if they made the call, and it would kind of do the same thing.
Yeah.
And then you're actually giving $50 to someone who actually landed on your chain instead of a bunch of dollar bills to people who just walked away.
But then again, I mean, you could say the same thing about this gadget too.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
hey, everybody.
My question is what else would it be that would actually catch somebody's attention?
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that when these devices hit mailboxes, they're going to log in, and people who are interested in log in and check it out, they're going to see some green candles. I think we're going to see some money flowing on chain before they arrive. That way, when people get here, they see the green candles and they go, "Oh, you know what? I want to get in on that." I think we'll see some action soon.
Yes, that is a must. Green candles is a must because it needs to catch someone's attention. The problem is most people do not know how to look up charts. Like, I'm just taking my wife, for example. Say my wife is not with me and she's just living in this house and she gets this PulseChain.com thing. She'll probably see it and would probably figure out how to buy it without even going on Dex Tools or CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap to know. She'll just see, oh, it's not even a penny yet.
Well, the chart is on PulseChain.com, right? Like, that's what's written on the tablet, and now he has it to where when you go on PulseChain.com, you're looking at the charts. But the charts are, like you said, most people have no idea what they're looking at in a chart. So that's a good point.
It says PulseChain from all-time low is up 90%. So it's automatically, everything's green because everything's tagged to the all-time low.
Is that what it populates? Right,
yeah, we're the only ones that feel like we're down right now.
But when you go on PulseChain.com,
it's automatic. But you can do 1 year, it's 23%. So everything up until, if you did 1 year, it automatically pops up as the all-time low. So everything's up. X is up 209%, Ink's up 305%, Pulse X is up 259%, PulseChain's up 90%. So just that right there, without clicking on anything, you're up. If you click it on the 1 year, PulseChain's up 27%, Hex is up 146%, Ink's up 7.2%, PulseX up 97.2%. In my opinion, that's where you stop. An individual stops right there and it starts scrolling. But to be honest with you, I don't even think anybody clicks on the tabs right there. I think they just start scrolling because remember, we think like that. Let's look at the 6 months, let's look at the 3 months, let's look at the one, we think like that. A normie is just scrolling to figure out what the heck they just got. And all it says is PulseChain, invest in your future, the faster, smarter, energy efficient crypto network, decentralized, censorship resistance, prime for growth. Take control of your finances in your future. You're still thinking, okay, this is some crypto thing. So I scroll down, PulseChain up 90% because all I see is green right now.
Because it populates at the all. I'm
going to keep scrolling from the all-time low. I'm not even going to start clicking on things like we would do it. They would do it. They just see green up this much percent. Wow. And they're going to keep scrolling, and it's going to say, set up your wallet, buy PLS, blah, 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 blah. They're not, I don't even think they go into clicking on that. And the crazy thing is, the 24-hour, the 7-day, the 30-day, the 3-month, the 6-month, the 1 year, and the all-time low. He was very smart in not putting the beginning chart in this.
It's set to all-time low. So when you open up the page, you see 90. PulseChain is up 90%. PulseX up 260%. Ink 305%. Hex 210%.
He didn't put the full chart on there, so he literally is giving you half the picture. Literally, because the highest time frame you can go is the 1 year chart, and we're up. We're all up from the 1 year.
But the other thing I was thinking about was if enough people get this, it's going to end up on the news somewhere. I can see, CNBC or Bloomberg talking about it. It just getting traction. And then another thing happens a lot at least in my neighborhood, is it when someone gets something funky in the mail, they can take a picture to say, anyone else get this? What's this all about? And they'll put it up on Facebook or neighborhood app or something. And I think the secondary hit from that stuff is going to happen. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I think so, Blackthorn, too. I think if someone gets in or a group of people get them and they get in and instantly they start getting a little bit of price appreciation, they're going to start telling their buddies and their neighbors and stuff about it. If they get in, they throw $5,000 in, that $5,000 in a few months turns into $7,000. They're hopefully going to be at Thanksgiving or Christmas and they're going to say, hey, I got this thing in the mail. I put $5,000 in it. It's now worth $7,000. This has been awesome, a great experience for me. So usually when you have good experiences in any business, right? Like you go and buy a couch and it's an awesome experience. The price was good. The product was good. The customer service was good. You go and tell people about that business that you enjoyed, and we should get a lot of adoption that way.
Richard Hart, if you're listening right now, the only thing missing on your website is a video that doesn't take people off of your website of a how to buy PulseChain, because that has a 20% higher hit rate is video format nowadays, not necessarily words because people don't know how to follow directions, but they like video format nowadays. So if you can embed that onto your website right underneath the chart, right before you go in to prepare your wallet, I think that will help tremendously. Will he listen? Is he listening to? I don't know, but just in case.
Can you hear me? I have an idea.
What's up, Gary? How are you?
I think it's this is I'm not sure if these are serialized as far as the device itself. If it is serialized, like almost every electronic device is serialized, then you could do anybody that basically operates a business. So Moon King sells subscriptions to his TA and to his price calls and his content. He could put a prize, and the prize could be like serial number 369 or serial number 5555 or whatever the serial number is that he chooses. Now, that doesn't mean that anybody is going to find that particular device, but it does basically make people look for their treasure, right? Like, do they have their winning lottery ticket? Doesn't even have to be a big prize of anything, $50, $500, whatever the number is, that is basically justified as marketing expense. So just as an example, it doesn't have to be Moon King, but just as an example, he runs a marketing company, and he follows all the tax rules and laws and things like that. So even a giveaway is effectively a tax reduction for him. Same thing with, I see Trevor's in the space. I see crypto stylists. There's other people that run businesses. If they run their business and they choose to do any kind of giveaway that's synergistically marketing what they care about, whether it's this crypto stuff or whether it's their own mainstream business that they're already KYC or already, marketing themselves in some other way, then that's an interesting thing, because these, again, if they're serialized, a certain percentage are going to be counterfeit. They're not going to be real. They're going to be just like tweet trolls and shit like that, saying, send me my $369 because I've got serial number 369. But I did post up in the Nest, you can make an offer on eBay, or there's other platforms you can do the same thing. Say, hey, I will pay $500 for number 5555 or whatever serial number of the PulseChain marketing thing or whatever it is, right? You have pictures already. It just depends on, do you want to synergistically and also tax deduction wise use a giveaway in that way or something else? It's just an idea. It's kind of like the NFT stuff that was promoted a while back is, if you have a particular NFT, then it's worth something. If you don't, then it's kind of like everything else. Just an idea.
Yeah, Gary, that would be kind of a pretty cool idea for getting mainstream news coverage too. If the prize was of decent size and you did it kind of like a lottery ticket, but everyone got their, or a portion of people in the United States got their lottery ticket as this device delivered to their house. And obviously the prize might not get picked because maybe a lot of people put these devices in a trash can and it never gets called. But if the prize was big enough, I'm sure that could go around hey, there's $100,000 prize going around right now, $100,000 cash to whoever has the device, that's this serial number.
Yeah, I was just saying in general, if you're going to do it and use it as a tax deduction for your own marketing, then you're marketing your thing, whatever your product or service is. And then in addition to that, you're basically offering some kind of prize to the finder of the Willy Wonka golden ticket. I mean, Richard already has content where he's dressed like Willy Wonka, basically with Adam Schiff or with Peter Schiff. There's all kinds of stuff that you could just basically brand idea. And it's an interesting thing, especially for people that already own and operating a business. I remember back in the day when there was Hex excitement the first year or two, and there was a mattress company, and they were giving away you could pay with your mattress with Hex. And I know that I made a shitload of Hex because I offered to my tenants, some of my tenants, you can pay $500 cheaper if you pay in Hex, your rent. But if you want to pay normally, like you always have been, then that's fine too. And it was just like that seed or that kernel, and they just wanted to earn a discount. So they were, after 2 or 3 months of, basically paying attention to the fact that the Hex chart was going up back then they were getting a discount. And I also was able to write that into my taxes. So again, it depends on your bookkeeping. It depends on how nuanced you want to be. If you just want to do it because you want to give away money anonymously, crypto-wise, then you could donate to somebody else that is willing to be public. I know that, again, a lot of people love Moon King. A lot of people don't like Moon King, but he has an operational business, and he just talked about running a website or operating a website that's going to talk about 3 stocks tickers and 3 crypto tickers as basically part of his continued marketing after the bull run. So finding someone that you care about supporting in that way, instead of doing super chats or other kind of gifting to support some particular creator. It's just an idea that actually could synergize if these devices have a serial number. If you basically have something that's already preloaded that you could choose and select and say, hey, I'm looking for number 369 or number 5555 and the million devices that are floating out there somewhere in the postal system.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a good idea, especially if you're trying to gain the attention of the people who are getting the devices. It kind of is a good way to cross-market yourself while also promoting the devices and attracting those people at the same time.
Yeah, think of how many haters, whether they were real haters or just wanted the attention economy of people liking and retweeting their tweets. But when the letters that went out, someone got the list of like Coinbase customers or some shit and sent out PulseChain and PulseX and Hex letters, I think. So somebody did that, right? And then there was reposts and they're like, what is this? This came in my mail? Oh my God, like how outrageous that someone got my mailing address. They're going to do that. They're going to, people are going to do that. Some are going to get it and be thrilled that they were, on the million list roster and say, hey, I knew about this and I supported this all along and wow, I got one. And then other people are gonna be like, why didn't I get on that list? Like I've been supporting Richard since 2010 when he did 50 Bitcoin per fucking transaction. Like people are gonna be like enraged that they didn't get one, and they're gonna be people that are enraged that they did get one, and how insulted they are. And it's just gonna be like free advertising. It's the same thing that happened before with the letters.
Well, Zen.
Yeah, we're getting to the 2-hour mark, so I definitely would like to give everyone a last call. If anyone has any questions, comments, any last conversations that they want to run through before I shut this down. We usually only let them run for 2 hours. If you have any additional questions or comments specifically about PulseChain or pTGC and UFO, I do have a VC tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in the pTGC Telegram group. Amanda,
you just posted that. Yeah, do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Just a side note. WLFI proposal sends 100% of protocol fees to buy back and burn. Every trade now means fewer tokens in circulation. World Liberty Fi. So World Liberty Fi now just submitted the proposal that 100% of their fees is going to go to a buyback and burn on their token.
Sweet.
Making it a deflationary token. Sounds very similar to something I've heard about before on PulseChain.
Yeah, I posted that earlier, and then it was a retweet of their post. I think it was Eric or somebody else that did that. And then, whether it gets approved or whatever, I think it's all going to get approved. The other thing was, it was coincidental that the last price I saw on pre-market was before the token generation event or whatever was 36.9 cents. That's the last price. And I was like, oh, that's coincidental. And B-Roots responded, and I agree. Like, I didn't promote WLFI, but a month ago or so, I participated with pre-market stuff. And so a lot of people made a 2x today, or 3, maybe up to a 4x if they got in after the fact. If they got in effectively the ICO that wasn't an ICO, like the KYC, AML, just in Sun, September or October of 2024, then they got in between 1.5 cents and I think they had a second round at 5 cents. So they've had their multiples, and obviously there's a lot of content streaming around on Twitter. Some are very pro, some are very negative about like the pump and dump of a Trump token, of anything related to the Trumps. But it's an interesting thing. I'm not saying buy, definitely not saying buy at all. It's an interesting thing to pay attention to because of the narrative of competing with Tether and USD1 trying to compete with Tether. The fact that their stablecoin is buying treasuries just like Tether does to have a yield. They haven't said anything about yield being passed on, kind of like how Athena or whatever these other stablecoin that basically buys treasuries and then pays part of that to the owners of the Athena token. So like these narratives around stablecoin politics, whale games, influence, marketing, all that shit is over the next 6 months. Like I think that's going to happen a lot. People just paying attention to the end of this cycle. So this is good timing, I think, in general for this device. I think it's good timing, whether Richard becomes public figure or not again, thought leader again or not, that's up to him. But like, it's an interesting opportunity for people that actually want to, skyline themselves in this part of the cycle.
Yeah, and I just think that, landing that thought, that the pTGC ecosystem is reflecting legacy markets. Because it's like B-Roots was talking about a couple of weeks ago, things are starting to go the way of APY and deflationary assets. And it just so happens to be that we have a superior product on PulseChain, and it's ahead of the curve. It's ahead of all of these things by 25 months with a really good proven track record. But it's generating millions of dollars in revenue per year already with no overhead. All these other companies have overhead.
Now, I do still think WLFI will see 5 cents before $1.
So do I. I told my buddies at the table today, I said, there's magnets down there, fat, it's ridiculous.
Not only think that mainly because there's a pre-sale. There's a pre-sale, so they're going to sell. They're in so much profit. When it gets unlocked, they're going to sell. And then I don't even think this becomes... It all depends on how long the bull market is. I know we will get out of here, but I'll be real fast on this one. It all depends on how long the bull market lasts. This to me seems like a potential second cycle thing going on, unless they pull that Band-Aid off quick. That market cap is so extremely high, and people are smashing it right now. So when those tokens unlocked, I'm sorry, they're gonna dump those tokens.
Oh, it's coming way down.
Yeah, so I think 5 cents is where that one group of people came in at. That's definitely a target. If anything, I would wait for after the bear market to buy this thing. You can probably pick this thing up at 5 cents to a penny. Unless they take this thing like way up, which is very possible. They take it into the top 5. And then it takes a monster 85, 95% dump during the bear market, and then you don't see that number. That's very possible too. But the way this chart is looking right now, it's looking like it wants to go down, regardless of that announcement.
Agree. And again, the play out, whether it mimics things we're familiar with or whatever, like you saw this buy and burn narrative just in the past few hours. An ICO that's not an ICO, it waits basically a year for the token generation event, like the pre-sale, whether they're doxxed in public. Justin's just like one of them, Justin's son, but all the Trump people being on the board. Like you have to expect that it's going to do like B-Roots did with the Trump meme token or the Melania or others that they basically did say they were part of. Like they said that they were part of, right? The meme versus the utility narrative. It's interesting that they are doing so much that's Aave, forking Aave kind of content as far as their protocol stuff. And in the bear market, I think B-Roots is correct. It needs to collapse, 80% and still be on par with what the ICO people got into earlier, because the ones that sold 20% of their bag that they got unlocked today, they're already in profit and they can just sit there. Doesn't mean that they're not going to dump for more profit, but they're already in profit. And also the ones that did pre-market around, 10 cents or wherever they bought pre-market, which was basically being hyped around a lot in July. They went in profit too. Like they're in profit as well.
And
so they can sell half their bag and still just sit there and let it all go to zero and call it and even sell it at zero and call it a tax harvest. So it depends on what you're trying to do.
You're also going to get all those people who bought at 30 cents. All those people that spend all that money, because there's a lot of volume right there.
Yeah, I saw it at 36 cents. I think the highest I saw was 36 or 40.
Yeah, they're going to dump at like 15 cents to try to get half their money back, and that's going to push the price down too. So there's a lot of things that doesn't make it bullish, but long term, as long as they're doing updates and stuff like that, like I'll definitely keep it on my watch list, because you'd be stupid not to buy down there. If it's legit, that's the question. If it's going to be long term legit.
Again, my point in bringing it up, Gray's currency, go grab a bag.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Mando. I think that's a good point that, going into this cycle, if PulseChain does start to move, the buy and burn narrative will most likely really start to take off, because if you're taking a value generation source like pTGC, like PulseX, in a way, it's a machine generating revenue. And when you compare that machine against companies that make revenue with tons of overhead, but you have literally smart contracts that take millions of dollars of revenue and just slam it into the token's price over and over and over again, day after day, and it just keeps generating and generating, you have to bring up the level of every product around it to keep up with that, or these products will just leave everything behind. It's kind of like in sports, when a new era of competition comes in, because every era usually gets better and better and better, that one good guy makes every guy after him step up, because if you don't step up and if the competition doesn't improve, that guy just leaves everyone behind. And I think this cycle, there will be some good sustainable systems that, like pTGC, UFO, like PulseX. With this obviously comes with the success of PulseChain. But if we can get these products in the top 100, top 50 of all cryptocurrencies, it will start to really stand out against a lot of the other cryptocurrencies in the top 100, because they're either meme tokens that don't generate any revenue. So it's just, buyers and sellers, nothing really special. And then there's large companies there that actually have utilities behind it, but a very small percentage of the utility and the value generation going on actually goes to the token price or to the holders. They just have that utility there for the company and for the people part of the company. And a lot of people buy the token because they know that the company's behind it. But it's crazy how little amount of the revenue that they generate actually goes to that token price. Really the only thing that matters. So, again, there is speculation that PulseChain is going to become this massive blockchain. But if PulseChain does, which I believe it will personally, it puts some of these tokens like PulseX, pTGC, UFO, automatically due to the revaluation into that top 50 of assets. And gosh, pTGC, PulseX, UFO in the top 50 of all cryptocurrencies is really hard to compete against, because there's no overhead and there's value generation happening every single day that's just slamming it into the buy pressure and then right to the dead address.
I tell you what, man. I'll put this out here publicly. It's all about timing. But pTGC gives you that, get 3x, get 3x. I'll do that damn I'll do that postcard marketing myself. That was a good idea we had today. And I'm really pondering on that. Because you're basically kind of taking the marketing that's already been done.
Absolutely.
And adding it to pump your own bag. And
yep.
I'm really thinking that. It's not a bad price to do that.
It's not a bad idea, B.
Oh, for sure.
Keywords, all the keywords, and everybody that makes tweets and searches out something, they're going to find those keywords.
And at the back of that postcard, going to say,
tell me.
Proudprofits.com. Maybe let's go. Boom. New website coming out soon.
Shield that shit.
It's going to be a double shielder.
Hey, you're going to get your money's worth.
Oh, yeah. Two-sided postcard.
All All right, guys, I'm going to shut it down. We've been going for 2 hours, 15 minutes. I need to get to the family. Thanks for coming in, everyone. Thanks for adding to the conversation. Gary, thanks for hopping in and adding to the conversation. I really do appreciate it. Keep hopping in if you can. Mando, thank you for coming in and chiming in at the end. And B Roots, thanks for being here the whole time and adding to the conversation.
Yeah.
100%.
100%, man. Have a good night.
And then Banana, thanks for co-hosting as always.
Absolutely. Thank you, Zen, for being here
Have a
as
good
well.
night.
Guys.
See ya.
See ya. There we go, guys. I was kind of losing it there at the end. I'm getting tired, man. It's hot in here. It's not blazing, but it's hot. I gotta go home and get cleaned up, hit the hay. So, and then we'll be back at it tomorrow. What you got? Pulsefolio. Is that the link? Yeah, that's the link to everybody go vote. PLSfolio.com. Thank you, Paul. Go vote for PLS Folio. Go vote for pTGC and UFO on PLSfolio.com. That's your assignment before you can hit the hay. All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll see you around.